Hey, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Legacy. I'm Lexi, your expert in evolution, and I am hosting this week's topic. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, honey.
Hey, I'm good.
What's up, y'all?
Hey. So, before we get into some recent information, why don't you ladies introduce yourselves to our audience for this evening?
Hey, ladies, it's me, Jasmine.
What's up, y'all? It is Kia, your favorite inspirationalist.
Inspirationalist.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. So, ladies, I know you guys probably heard I guess it's been about a week maybe or so now about Nike's new campaign.
Yes.
With Colin
Just
Kaepernick.
do it.
Yes.
Just do it. My favorite was the post that they put up with the visual of him behind, and it said, "Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything."
I love that.
And you guys know, since last year, even when he started kind of this whole initiative and really pushing for kneeling and things like that, I've been on board. So y'all know I was a diehard Steelers fan. I haven't burned or cut up anything. But when I tell you drop,
What you
kick,
say? You ain't
curb,
burned or cut up anything?
I haven't burned or cut up anything.
She definitely went cold
heard-
turkey.
You ain't heard me mention about a field goal or nothing. I done picked up all
There was
new
no
sports.
black and yellow,
No,
black
I'm
and yellow.
loving
None of
lacrosse
that.
right about now.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, but all jokes aside, I wanted to share with y'all. So since then, there's been a lot of backlash. So the
Okay,
most
what's going
recent
on?
thing, girl, did y'all know that there's a pastor out of Mobile, Alabama, that wanted to take a stand. So one Sunday morning, in front of his lovely congregation, standing with the flag, the American flag to his left, he declared he was sick and tired of the way the clothing brand Nike was treating people and the disrespect to the American people. So in front of all of that, he actually cut up all of his Nike apparel right in front of the congregation.
Oh.
This pastor's name, again, Mac Morris.
Is he Caucasian?
He actually is. I'm glad you asked. I was going to go there next. He did. He decided, and his audience was just cheering and chanting. He has a pretty big church, too, pretty big following. Cheering and chanting. And to further the conversation, in Mississippi, the Department of Public Safety banned employees from wearing Nikes. Banned them from wearing Nikes. Part of the public. Now, do we notice a theme? We got Alabama, we got Mississippi. We got Texas. It's a little, little
southern
stuff,
states.
little
Yeah.
southern states, little Jim Crow states down there. What's going on?
I'm not
But,
surprised.
we talked about it, Kia, even with the last episode with the feedback we got from the Tribune, how, our need to control the narrative and things like that. And I think it was just really important to kind of understand that one thing about it, Nike has already played all of this out, number one.
They have.
Definitely.
So
before we go any further, because when you say played it out, our friend
Tashira.
Tyra.
Yeah,
I was about to bring up her quote. Yes.
That was so
Yes,
well
that was
said.
on point.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to you,
let me
girl.
just quickly
T.
read what she said. If y'all don't think Nike took all of its potential loss into consideration in anticipation of this campaign, by which was probably orchestrated years ago, you are sadly mistaken. As a corporate marketing strategist for some of the largest healthcare organizations in the country, you must know profit loss and loss prevention is not only considered, but fiscally accounted for. Yes, they capitalized via a brilliant marketing move, but why would you expect anything different? Perhaps we should consider more strategic thinking and implementation versus emotion-riddled responses. I was in
Beautifully
love with
said.
that.
I loved it.
I was in love with that. Because
And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's the conversation that we need to have, is being strategic. So everything is done with intention. I strategize. And Nike's not crazy.
They're not.
They're not crazy.
They're not.
But everybody keep holding up this flag as if he was saying he didn't like the American flag. And that wasn't what he was saying.
Right.
Like, is we missing the point? Because everybody, you want to walk with your, and you the pastor.
Even American Soldier was
Yeah.
like supporting Kaepernick's stance, saying he was not against like the flag, against America. I mean, America's all about supposedly,
Absolutely.
freedom of speech and standing up for what you
Depends
believe
on what
in.
you're speaking about.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yep.
it was like people were trying to change the narrative, which again, like she's saying, is to be expected. Don't
Correct.
you think Nike knew this?
Right.
They didn't go in this blindly. This
You can't
was
afford
a
to.
huge conversation. Before it even got to us, they already knew what was going to come its way and how it could possibly play out, right?
And how is it that we didn't see, that sense of uproar from the other side with the whole H&M ad. You know what I mean? With the coolest monkey in the jungle rolling around out here. It's those sorts of little things that why when people say, well, how can you say Black Lives Matter, all lives matter? Because you do stuff like this.
Yes. Yeah.
All they said was, they're going to allow and encourage and engage this person in his choice. And so, like you had just said, Kia, about the whole the military, the Army veteran, I think it was, that
I wish I could
not
find
necessarily
his quote on
in
Facebook.
support. It was a veteran who suggested the kneeling to
That's the guy
Kaepernick.
who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Who was in support
It was a team.
of it. Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, is anybody listening?
No, 'cause they don't
want
wanna listen.
Like, did you just watch this guy?
Well,
what
again,
he
like we said, I guess it's about what he was kneeling for, because
It's what he
even
was
someone
kneeling for.
posted something about Tim Tebow from the
Yeah,
NFL
I remember
quarterback
that.
that had kneeled in protest of abortion during the national anthem in
Yep.
2012, but he was praised for doing it.
Yep. He was. I remember seeing that they did a comparison a
They
year
did a
ago.
comparison.
Okay.
Yep. And so that's interesting, Caucasian quarterback takes a knee in protest to a particular stance. Another
He was praised
quarterback,
for being a model American.
he was praised for that. So it's those sorts of things why we got to
And
keep
he was
it in
given
mind.
3 new NFL contracts,
Oh, wow.
in addition to a Major League Baseball contract.
Right. Who even knew he played baseball? Now he running around here figure skating.
What? I'm done. I didn't even know. No, that's a girl.
Shout
did you
out
know?
to
Did
Tim
you know?
Tebow.
He's an all-American.
Right.
Now.
Truly.
Yeah.
Truly all American. So it's those sorts of things. But in the spirit of this conversation, our topic for today, for this week's episode, is actually about letting go. So
Let go and let flow.
let go.
What they say? Let go and let God.
Won't he do it? It's so interesting. So what kind of brought me to this subject is, you guys know, about a month and a half ago, I guess it was, my mom passed on August 1st. And then at around 5 p.m. And then August 2nd, around 5 a.m., my fiance Moose's dad passed. So it was like, back to back. We weren't even all the way woke from the last one, just getting to sleep.
Yeah.
And then we have this next loss. But part of what I had been reading about, so I signed up for this website called griefshare.org.
Okay.
It was recommended to me by a colleague of mine, and I wanted to be extremely intentional about this experience that I was going through. And I didn't want to rush it, right? So I don't want people to misunderstand where I'm going, but I wanted to be in line with it.
Okay.
So I wanted to get counseling.
Okay.
I'm looking at, found Camille a counselor.
Okay.
Musa started going to grief counseling.
Wonderful.
But part of the
Support.
griefshare.org talked about letting go.
Wow.
And it actually talked about how if you think for 1 minute you're going to get through this experience of grief,
Right.
whatever the grief may be.
Yeah, whatever you're grieving.
Whatever you're grieving, whatever the loss may
Is,
be.
yeah.
If you think you're going to just kind of get over it, it
Right.
doesn't happen like
Happen
that.
like
Like
that.
you literally have to identify it, work through it,
Right.
understand it, and then let it go.
Let it go. How about that?
And
right?
so at first when I read it, I was like, let it go. And then I sat for a minute on it and prayed on it. And I'm like, not let go of the person,
Yeah.
so to speak. That, in my case, my mom. So not let go of my mom, obviously, or her memory. But how do you let go of things so that you can evolve, so you
Right.
can continue moving on? Because
Right.
God still has purpose for
yeah,
you here.
and I believe that is God's will,
So-
is for you to evolve through
Yeah.
grief or anything that brings you any heartache or any pain or any sadness, discomfort.
You
It
got to
is-
be able to let go.
Yeah.
So what do y'all think? I mean, talk to me about, you guys have experienced losses, both, death of loved ones as well as other losses. Let it go. What does that mean
I'm
for
going
you?
to speak from a different point because I was actually a couple years ago in a place where I was grieving my old self. I had left my job. I had started a new business. And I was finding out who this new person was. So sometimes it caused a little bit of uncertainty, causing me to question myself, question my faith, question my relationship, and question really what the hell am I doing with my life? And I remember thinking of the old me who was stable, who was confident, who was, in line. Not that I wasn't in line with God, but things were quite comfortable and they were normal to me. and I was grieving my old self. I remember just praying to God, like, I just want things to be like they were. And I didn't realize it for a long time that I just wanted to go back. I just Lord, I don't want to be changed. I don't like this change thing. Just take me back to the sis I was, a year or two ago. And I was missing that person. I was missing the experiences that I had in those years in my life. And once I recognized that that's what I was mourning, I had never knew that you can mourn your old self. You can miss the old you. And once I realized, I had to kind of let that person go and believe that there was another side that I wouldn't stay where I was. You know what I'm saying? Because we'll get to a place that we think, this is it. And as God is like, this is not it. This is the wilderness. I know you ain't always been in this place. That's why you want to go back and you're mourning and you're grieving for what you knew.
Yeah, what you knew.
But I'm taking you elsewhere. So if you just keep going, there's another side to the thing and you're going to be happy with who you are becoming and you ain't even going to want to go back. And I don't want to go back. I don't miss my old self. I appreciate my own self, but I had to let my old self go.
Gotta die so you can live.
Absolutely.
I think Fantasia has a song out, and that's a part of it. Is like, you gotta lose to win.
You do.
And that's a big part of the song. And it's, it probably, and again, I don't want people to misunderstand, it's not a selfish spirit that I'm coming from when I say, my mom, she had to go on. She had to go on. But and it's hard. It's not, it has not been a day that has gone by that I don't think about her, almost pick up the phone, things like that. And I know, even like this past weekend was my dad's birthday. And so I'm looking at this picture I found, and it's me, my dad, and my grandma. And in the past 9 years, all three of them have passed on.
Wow.
And I'm just looking and I'm like, wow. And so, that's a hurt piece.
It is.
And so, again, not to just make this about the loss of a loved one when they pass on, but Jazz, for you, when you're learning to let go, and even times where you felt like you didn't want to let go, like he had just mentioned, what's your thoughts?
So with the loss of my mom, I didn't let go because I was still in denial. Again, I was young. I was only 13, so I was in denial phases. I was just, I can put her on vacation from time to time. She probably done traveled the world a couple times in my mind.
Right.
So it wasn't until I felt like when I was in bad relationships was when I mourned her more.
How about that?
Right?
Yeah. How about
when
that?
I'm in bad relationships and is when I was like, I really would, it was heavily mourning her and I wanted her more and it made the situation worse for me.
Yeah.
Because I never really mourned her. I just put her other places, but it wasn't until I was in bad relationships that I felt like I was mourning her more.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I actually had started I was like, I have to get to a point where I have to let her go to know that I'm going to be okay. I'm still going to miss her, but it's not going to be a pain that I feel when I think of her.
Right. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be of a hurt pain when I think of her. I want it to be of I wish I had more time with her, but I want to be able to smile and be like, what little bit of time I had is okay. And I have to know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
And at times I struggled even as an adult because it was almost like I felt like I didn't get enough time. I missed out on things that my sisters had more opportunity to experience with her.
Yeah.
So it was almost something that I have to learn. And again, it's a continuous struggle with me, and I'm going to continue to battle through it. But it's easier now for me to be able to be like, her anniversary comes around. Okay, I'm good. It may be down sometimes, but it's not a down like I would normally be like crippled. When I was in a bad relationship. I would be crippled to the pain. And now it's just like, you
become a slave.
It's like, hey, she's gone. It's her anniversary, but are we getting together? What
you most celebrate her life.
Right.
Yeah, I can get up and I can be out and I can be visible and I can talk. And it's the same thing even with my sister. I'm better at handling the grief than before. I was just, my mom been all over the world.
And one thing that's interesting is that I have read that the body remembers the emotion attached to the thought.
Yeah.